Hey guys, good morning. Today I wanted to get into something that I have been wanting to get into for so long now. So I'm going to show you what I've got and then we are going to complete something for them today. So let's go take a look. It's chickens. I have chickens now and I'm so excited. As you can see, let me take the lid off here. My girls are pretty big. They are 5 weeks, nearly 6 weeks, so they're almost ready to go out into the coop, which is what we're doing today. Oh, I'm sorry. I wanted to go ahead and get a coop build for them. I'm sure they would like to start perching soon. That is actually why I had to, that's actually why I had to build this makeshift lid for what I'm using as a brooder, with zip ties and chicken wire, because they started roosting on the sides of the bucket at night. And by I think it was like the 3rd week that I had them, they were roosting on the side of this and they were getting poop everywhere, all over my carpet. Now we're ripping up this carpet anyway, so it wasn't a big deal, but had this been like carpet that we care about, I would have been devastated because not all of it has come out all of the way. I do have 5 hens here. I did have 6. One of them sadly passed away at 2 weeks old. These 2 are Rhode Island Reds, and the other 3 are Wyandottes. I got 2 golden laced Wyandottes and 2 silver laced Wyandottes. I'm not sure which one it was that passed away, because right now all 3 of the Wyandottes to me look like golden laced, but since I've never had chickens before, I can't really tell. We actually got this coop from Ollie's bargain outlet for $150. So I was worried when we got one on such a discounted price that there might be something wrong with it, or it might not be as sturdy as I was looking for. And here I'm showing off the nice crack that I found in the lock. The lock is broken on the front. I guess that's what I get for buying a $150 coop. It's nothing I can't fix, but that is unfortunate, and I think I just lost my screw. As I was editing, I remembered that this happened, so it might be our fault a little bit that the coop is so cracked. It says to use a screwdriver to assemble it, and if there's anything that I've learned putting stuff like this together, it is use a screwdriver if they tell you to, or else you're going to strip the heck out of the screws and then you'll be worse off. So, got my screwdriver. They have numbers written on them in Sharpie, so... In total, it took me about 1 hour and 45 minutes to put this whole thing together. It's not the end of the world. It'll last us for a year or 2, but we're definitely going to have to get something better after a while. I don't think this is going to last that long. So, as you heard me explaining to Dawson, this coop is a nice coop for how much we spent on it, but it definitely is a bit flimsy. The wood is very soft and easy to drill into, which is nice for putting it together. I do kind of worry about how structurally stable this is going to be after about 2 or 3 years worth of use. So I think it's a good little starter coop, but definitely I think we'll be wanting something bigger in the future, especially if I end up getting more chickens, which I know will probably happen because I've heard about chicken math. All right, here she is in all of her glory. I have a couple of qualms with it. This part's broken off. This is also broken off. The screw is stripped in there and the plywood is busted, so I'll have to fix that. There is supposed to be a hinge right here that we installed. This thing. But for the life of me, I can't figure out how it goes on, and we've put it on several different ways. It just doesn't look like the instructions aren't very good at explaining how to put that hinge on. This lock is okay. It was a little difficult to figure out at first, but I've got it figured out now. I still might switch it out for one that is easier though, because I would like it to be as easy as possible to get to my eggs. I also got my broken lock here that I need to fix. And if you can see in here, they've got a little perch right there, right before their nesting boxes are. So I was thinking about putting them in here tonight, but got the tray right here. But there's just too many things that I feel like I need to fix first before we get them outside. So after taking a few days to think it over and ordering some stuff and waiting for it to come in, we were finally set to finish up making this chicken coop a little bit more predator proof, and that's what we're working on here. We went ahead and decided to staple some chicken wire to the bottom just because I don't want anything digging up under there while they're asleep at night and managing to get into their little coop area. And I also know that we have a mole problem. I don't think moles will do anything to chickens, but I don't know for sure. So I just went ahead and put chicken wire on there anyway. That way, if a mole does try to dig up through the ground just where we happen to have the coop, then they won't be able to get in there. Also, I decided to install some heavier duty locks onto the coop for each of the areas that it opens. So we had 2 latches and locks that I had to install on the doors, and then I went ahead and left the latch on the nesting box alone and just added a nice lock. I know it might seem kind of silly that I added these number locks onto here because that might seem like a little too much security for a coop, because I don't expect people to be breaking into this, at least I hope not. But we have raccoons around the area, and I know that raccoons are very good at getting into things, so I didn't want them to figure out how to open the latch on the door and get into my chickens. And also, our neighbors recently had something tear into their rabbit hutch, and we thought that it killed their rabbit, but somehow the rabbit managed to get away, and I found it in the backyard a few days later and managed to spend 45 minutes trapping that thing. And we actually didn't even know that it was their pet rabbit. I just saw a rabbit roaming in the yard, and it looked like a pet rabbit, not like a wild rabbit. And I was like, Dawson, this is someone's pet. So we chased it around and caught it and put it on one of those local pet groups. And it was the funniest thing because our neighbor had called my husband on Facebook from the post and was like, we were trying to figure out where they were located from to come get it. And she's like, oh, we're your neighbors. We're right next door. We'll just walk over and get it real quick. And it was the craziest thing, but it was their little girl's rabbit, and she was so thrilled to have him back. So I want to make sure that whatever it was that got or tried to get their rabbit doesn't get my chickens. Okay, so the girls are all in there. They're pecking around and settling in. We do have a run that we're going to put together for them, but I'm not going to put it together today. I'm actually just going to let them settle into their coop for a few days and kind of learn what their new home is before I decide to let them out and roaming about for a little bit. But that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Thanks. Bye.